You're listening to The Drew Yari Show.
That's the wine and diner with kings and queens.
You're looking at the man. You're listening to The Drew Yari Show.
Alright guys, I tested that out. Hopefully you guys heard most of that shit. I just figured out how to use stereo mix today. Let me see if everything's coming through on the live feed. Alright, we're good on live, we're going on Discord. Yeah, like I said, I just enabled stereo mix on my computer on Windows 10. It was pretty easy to do. Because I've been trying to get like sounds coming out through my computer, that way you guys can hear them. But for the life of me, I still don't know how to use it. Because it's weird, because like when I put stereo mix on Discord, it's showing that the sounds are going through, but my voice isn't. So it's like I still have to like switch through, and I still have to like switch back and forth. Just to make everything work, or again, hopefully it went through. Yeah, I see Sean in the chat room. But yeah, I've been gone for a week. I took last week off. What's up, Sean? Hopefully we get more people in, which usually they tend to drove in in the middle of the show. But what's up, Jack Hill? Welcome to the show, man. But yeah, welcome to the show, guys. It's Thursday. It's 5:04 p.m. Central Time here in San Antonio, Texas. It's nice and sunny. It's not raining anymore. It's been raining for like almost a week and a half here in San Antonio. It's been pretty bad with the rain. Sorry, I'm taking a drink of my water. It feels like there's something stuck in my throat. I'm not sure what it is, but I get that feeling of something stuck in my throat. But yeah, I'm Drew Yari. Welcome to the Drew Yari Show. How has everyone's week been so far? How's everyone doing? Hopefully you guys are safe. I mean, if anyone's been living under a rock, there have been some protests, some peaceful, some not so peaceful. Last week, again, if anyone doesn't know, George Floyd, he was being apprehended by the police. They claimed that he was resisting arrest, but they showed a little bit more enhanced footage, and he clearly was not resisting. And one of the cops had his knee on George's neck. I didn't watch the video. I couldn't. I honestly could not watch the video. In hearing, people talk about, how the video was, just this guy is literally he's gurgling and, he's crying out for life. He's begging this cop not to kill him. He's begging for his life. And he apparently cried out for his mom. His mom died 2 years ago, which, again, it's sad. Poor guy died for no reason. And I mean, it was just announced it was announced a few days ago that the cop was already, going to trial. He was, not going to trial, but getting arrested. And the 3 other cops are being charged as well, and they upgraded the charge to second degree. They're hoping for first degree. So, fingers crossed. Those cops deserve to go to jail. They got away with murder. They murdered an innocent man for literally no reason. And with the George Floyd protest, cities everywhere, including countries, because I heard London. I was reading that London and I believe Canada were doing it too. They were doing protests. Minnesota, which I believe George Floyd was from, just was not in good condition. Just very violent protests, very violent riots. Atlanta did the same thing. Philadelphia, which was heartbreaking. Because Shaheen, good friend of the show, good friend of mine, lives there. Mish lives there. Hearing the heartbreak in Mish's voice, just talking about it, was just it got me. It got to me because you never want to hear or see anyone cry, especially a guy like Mish who he seems like he has it together. Like he tries to keep the brave face on, but it's heartbreaking for him because this is his city, and he's said the same thing happened in Chicago. So we had protests here in San Antonio. They weren't too bad, but again, you had people just breaking shit, and they even broke into Whataburger. Like, Whataburger, come on. Just leaving a mess in San Antonio. And I said I was disappointed in my city, because I thought we were better than this. Other cities, I'm forgetting where, I believe it was downtown Los Angeles. They had peaceful protests, which is, good. Protests are one thing. I mean, rioting, come on. How is destroying your city going to do anything? Even George Floyd's brother, said the same thing. This is not going to bring my brother back. This is not something my brother wanted. It's a tough time we're living in. I usually don't get too political on here. I usually try to keep it a little bit more lighthearted. But it's just one of those things that you can't really get away from. You kind of have to talk about it. I'm kind of part minority. I'm half Iranian, half white. And I'm not trying to make this about me at all. CM Punk kind of said it perfectly whenever he was on, when he was on Backstage. And it was him, Renee, and Mark Henry, and Booker T, where, CM Punk said it perfectly, I'm just paraphrasing, white people need to shut up and listen. You need to help your black brothers and sisters. You need to listen. You need to listen to what they want. You need to listen to what it is that's causing them pain. And he told a very interesting story where it actually got me a little emotional. Everything seems to get me. Everything gets me emotional. It's not new, but this made sense. Where on CM Punk's neck, he has a 31 tattoo. It's him and his family, his sisters, and I don't know if his mom has it. They have tattoos of the number 31 on their neck. It has something to do with his grandfather, fighting in the war, and he got pretty emotional, talking about it. And he made it very clear there's really no way you can try to justify anything some people do. Like when Trump, tries to say, I think Nazis are good, or I think some Nazis are good people. Which you can't say that. You can't justify that. There's no way you can try and justify that to everyone. It's like, with people that try to say all lives matter. That's not something people need to hear right now. Black lives do matter right now. Because, like I said, I'm half Iranian, but I can pass off as a white guy. Like, I look very white. I look like an average-looking white guy. So, when I get pulled over, my first thought is, I'll shit a ticket. Or, I was speeding. Oh, shit. I have friends that are black. And when they get pulled over, they have to worry about getting killed or getting hurt. And this is a very real thing. This isn't just something that we hear in movies or we see on television shows or hear in songs. This is something that's very new. And it's something that it's kind of a disgrace where we all know about it, but it's either we pretend not to know about it or just, I don't know how to say this without sounding ignorant. We pretend to know about it and then kind of brush it off to the side and wait for the next, thing to happen, or we just don't care. But then there's people out there that actually do care and want to do something about it, but we're not hearing them. And we try to brush them off to the side of, oh, they're just being snowflakes. They're just being SJWs. They're being A, B, C, and D. This is something that's very real and needs, and I'm glad it's being brought to the light again. We're not expecting racism to ever go away. It's one of those things where, and there's a quote that I actually shared from Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, where I can pull it up right now, actually, because it's not too far away. Where is it? Come on. Hold on. I just saw it not too long ago. Sorry, guys. Give me a second. I'm trying to look at the quote. I want to get the quote right. I don't just want to paraphrase it and think I know what it was. Come on. I share too much shit. Alright, here we go. He said, racism in America is like dust in the air. It seems invisible until you let the sun in, then you see it's everywhere. As long as we keep shining that light, we have a chance of cleaning it. Which, again, very true. It's also like, when people try to say, not all cops are bad. Well, at the same time, yeah, that's true, but someone that's supposed to be, serving and protecting. That's supposed to protect your life and make sure you're okay and that you don't get hurt. And yeah, they're the ones hurting you. They're the ones that are, abusing their power. That's not right. We need to eliminate those people. Sean, you work in a jail, right? So as far as like the hiring process for like or you're a prison. I don't know. That's the. Okay, you kind of ruined. Okay, damn, I kind of ruined the mood. Damn. All right, so you're the big boss man. I didn't set that up. Don't blame me. God damn it, Sean. One job. Okay, I kind of ruined the mood a little bit. That's my fault. But as far as like cops go, the hiring process, do they get like a psychological test? I'm not asking you that, Sean, since you're apparently not a cop or a jail guard or whatever you want to call it. But as far as like the hiring process goes for a cop or any like government or city job, I would like to think that I learned that this week it takes more than training to be a certified barber to be a certified cop. That's sad. That is sad. Like, both should be kind of one and the same as far as like how good you have to be at your job. Like, to be able to cut someone's hair, you have to be good. You can't fuck up at all. And being a cop, you have to be good. Obviously, you gotta know the law, but can't you be like? You also gotta be mentally, there. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think they should ask people, do you hate black people? Do you like white people more than black people? Do you like anyone that's mainly white and not another color of what or less than white? Like, I don't expect them to ask them that question, but more like, I guess, psychological exams. You know what I mean? To kind of get a better grasp on who this person is. But then again, those tests can be faked. Like, anyone could pass those tests by, fucking with the body language. So I really don't know. But we do need to fix everything. What's going on, Super Bear Corbin? What's going on, Corbin? But yeah, this is something that needs to be fixed. There's too many cops getting away with this shit. And also, just the people rioting, stop. It's not solving anything. It's making things worse. But I just heard a cat meow. Give me 1 second. I'll be right back. Talk amongst yourselves. What? What? Oh, fuck, I forgot to plug my headphones in. I just realized I didn't plug my headphones in. Shit. Crap. Alright. Oh, you said it still came through. Okay, alright. Still gotta fix it, though. Anyways, yeah, sorry. I had to feed the cat. But yeah, I don't know what you guys think about the whole situation. I mean, you're welcome to chime in and give your thoughts on it. But it's a pretty rough assessment. Again, I hope everyone's okay. I hope nobody got caught up through that. I mean, if you participated in protesting, I hope you're okay. I hope nothing bad happened. But man, just we need to fix this country. All for peaceful protesting against rioters, against instigators on both sides. Exactly. But let's kind of get the mood up. So let's kind of make everyone happy by talking about wrestling, huh? You guys want to talk about wrestling? So, as far as hey, that Drake moment, I'm gonna get right to that. I did finish NXT today. I watched like the first half. I just had a really bad headache. It wasn't a migraine. I think I was just tired because I was cutting the grass yesterday. It was really freaking hot. So, but yeah, NXT. I still haven't seen the ratings yet. I have it on my link, so no one spoiled it for me. But pretty sure I have a feeling what happened, knowing how shit works. But NXT results from June 3rd yesterday. The first match was Candice LeRae versus Mia Yim. Might surprise you. Ooh, I do like surprises. Match is okay. Why did Candice dye her hair? That's one thing I want to know. Her as a heel works. I like Johnny Gargano as a heel because he's playing, kind of, this sniveling kind of pussy, chicken shit heel, which works. That works for him. Same thing with Candice, but the match ended up changing because other women came out, and then Keith Lee came out to support Maya, and it ended up becoming a mixed tag team match with Mia Yim and Keith Lee versus Gargano and LeRae. So, okay match, and then there was a point where Gargano took out his car keys and gouged Lee in the eye, and LeRae pinned Mia Yim to pick up the win. What is it? Those two, Gargano and Lee, are going to face each other this Sunday for the North American Championship, which we're going to get into predictions after I'm done with all this. So, and then they announced a 6-woman tag, which, again, we'll get into that. So, the match before that, Yim and LeRae, I thought it was good. They seem to work pretty well together. Yim, I like her a little bit more and more. She has a good personality. Lorray, again, the heel thing is working. She's kind of the stuck up heel, which I look at her heel gimmick. It's something that Bayley should have done, because Bayley as a face isn't working. It just comes off as very cookie cutter. It comes off as being very generic and whiny and bratty. Whereas Candice, her whole thing is, I've been, the big sister of NXT, of the women in NXT. And I haven't gotten one title shot. No one appreciates me, so fuck all of you. That should have been Bayley. Like, Bayley's whole thing should have been, that she was dejected. That, I've been working my ass off. I'm all for the kids. I come out, I smile, I greet everyone, I hug them. But it just still isn't enough because the company looks down on me, and now y'all are starting to look down on me. So fuck all of you. Like, don't say fuck all of you, but you get what I mean. That should have really been Bayley's, heel gimmick. Her as a heel, just it doesn't work. I mean, her wearing tight pants, it works. For her as a heel, it doesn't work. That's just my opinion. So we go to the next match, which is Isaiah Swerve Scott versus Tony Nese. Wasn't really paying attention to this match. Was it Scott pinned Nese? Yeah, okay. I mean, Scott's all right. Tony Nese is very bland. He's just a guy that has a nice look, and that's really about it. That's pretty much all I gotta say about that match. You got a 3-way to determine the number one contenders for Imperium for the NXT tag titles. You had Undisputed Era, which was Bobby Fish and Roderick Strong versus Oni Lorcan and Danny Burch versus the surprise team of Breezango, making their return to NXT. A very entertaining match, good back and forth. Breezango, the gimmick is, they're supposed to be goofy, but they actually go in there and wrestle. They don't rely too much on the comedy when they're actually wrestling. Their whole entrance is supposed to be goofy and, over the top, but they actually go in there and wrestle, which is good. I like that. Lorcan and Burch, I thought they were going to win because they were hyping that up. And they look like they would have been an interesting matchup to Imperium because, those guys are supposed to be ass kickers, and the way they're making Lorcan and Burch look, they're supposed to be ass kickers. I'm going to take a swig of my drink. Undisputed Era, they didn't really need to win. Undisputed Era is still over. They're still a group. They're still the top faction in NXT. Probably the only faction in NXT when you look at it. But yeah, they don't really need to be champions. They're fine. They're fine with that. So I'm kind of getting bored with Undisputed Era. But yeah, Breezango won, which is good. I don't know if they're going to be at the pay-per-view this Sunday. Again, I have the match pulled up. I haven't looked at all the matches. I know there have been some matches that have been announced. Let's see. Next match, you have Aaliyah versus Santana Garrett. Aaliyah, who I used to call Carmella Light, but she's actually a lot better in the ring than Carmella, and she looks a lot better than Carmella. So, but what happened? Before this match, Chelsea Green fired Robert Stone. And Aaliyah has been apparently, I guess, wanting to get Robert Stone's attention. And it didn't work out either because Santana Garrett won, which I'm glad because I like Santana Garrett. Again, good-looking girl, great in the ring too. She's someone. She could be like a Candice LeRae, somebody that could kind of be the pinnacle of the NXT Women's Division, maybe even the main roster's women's division. She can be like she can be what Natalya is to the main roster women's division. You know what I mean? So yeah, this match was what it was. Again, Aaliyah's not that bad. She's actually a lot better than Carmella. Next match, you had Cameron Grimes versus Bronson Reed, but I'm not a fan of Cameron Grimes, honestly. He looks like He looks like somebody in a Rob Zombie movie. A really bad Rob Zombie movie. Yeah, he sucks. His finish move is okay, but he kind of sucks. Bronson Reed, he's someone that I don't see ever being anything anywhere. He just looks like a body. He seems like somebody that should be more of I was going to say a manager, but he's too short to be a manager. Like he's not Brodus Clay. Brodus Clay actually is a lot bigger and taller and looks like he can fuck you up. Not to say Bronson Reed can't fuck us up, but he's a little bit shorter than Brodus Clay. So, yeah, this match was what it was. Bronson Reed won, and then Karrion Kross came out and did his finisher on him, and looked into the camera, called out Tommaso Ciampa and said TikTok. That finishing was pretty good. I like his submission, but for a guy like Kross, I think he should do a move that's a little bit more devastating, like a little bit more impactful than just a submission. Like, I mean, personally, and they'll never let him do this, but an F5 would be pretty cool. Maybe a tombstone. A tombstone seems like it would fit him pretty well. But, I don't know, we'll see about that. Let's see. And then next match he had the main event, which was Drake Maverick versus El Hijo del Fantasma. It was literally the final 20 minutes of the match. Overall, really good match. I like the back and forth between these two. Drake, it's weird because he overacts, but he really does sell. Not too many guys sell. Crucifix powerbomb for a Kross, right? That wouldn't be bad. But yeah, Drake, he's really good at selling. It's a little bit over the top because, I mean, I don't really think he has a choice, because maybe that's just how his face looks when he does actually get in pain. Like, he has that Sylvester Stallone, lip thing where, like, when he's hurt, he's like, oh, like, but it works. Like when Phantasma slammed him on the mat outside. Like, he's selling like he just fucking got kicked in the nuts. Or not even got kicked in the nuts. Like, somebody took a sledgehammer and hit him in the nuts. Like, he was selling. Like, fuck. The trainees were, selling for, or not selling, but for, chanting for Drake, which they're taught to do. I don't know if Phantasma was supposed to be the heel. But Drake was over in this match. He was working his ass off. Towards the end of the match, you had two masked wrestlers come out, going after Phantasma, which that's been a thing lately. You've had like random masked wrestlers come out and trying to kidnap other wrestlers. I don't know what that's leading to, but Drake comes out and fights him off, gets in the ring, and then Phantasma, what the fuck was his move? He hit his finisher on Maverick, pinned him, and now Phantasma is the new Cruiserweight champion. Which I'm fine with, because eventually Drake Maverick's he's gonna get a championship opportunity in the future, and it's gonna mean a lot more, because I think if they had not rushed it, but I think if they had just given him this title already, and then he ends up losing it, it would kind of deflate the air out of that moment. I don't know if that makes sense to you guys, but that's just how I feel. And then Phantasma winning it, it'll mean something eventually, where, and I don't even know if they're going to have SummerSlam in August. Apparently, Vince still wants to have it. But I guess at the takeover that's before SummerSlam, you can have that match, and it'll mean something. So after the match, Maverick, was crying and looking into the camera saying thank you to everybody. Gets up to the stage, and Triple H is, putting his arm around him. You're in this, kid. And, ends up handing Drake Maverick an NXT contract and signs it right there. Drake Maverick is now back with WWE, which was really that shocking. I mean, because there are people that are furloughed. I think overall, the way it looked, this whole thing with Drake Maverick has been a work. Like, he was not really released. I don't know if they wanted to test it out, or maybe it's a thing where they saw the video and they saw the likes that it got and the responses and the fact that he was already in the Cruiserweight tournament, and they realized we got something with this guy, so let's work something out. And supposedly they're already in negotiations to bring back people they just released. So, I mean, that wouldn't be bad. I mean, bring back somebody like a Heath Slater. Bring back somebody like, I would say bring back Rusev, but they clearly don't give two fucks about Rusev. They don't care about Lana. But yeah, I'm glad for Drake Maverick. You know, I got pretty misty-eyed whenever he was crying at the ramp. Whenever, he was getting pretty emotional. And then Triple H, gave him the contract and he signed it. It was a nice moment. It was a pretty nice moment. There's not too many nice moments like that anymore in wrestling. There's very few and far between, but a guy like Drake Maverick, who's by all accounts and purposes very liked, very respected. It's good to see him, get what he wants. So, and that was NXT. NXT was a pretty good show. I always say I prefer NXT over AEW. I try to watch both shows. I mean, I have to because of this show. But I did watch AEW. So let's get into results. You had the first match with Hangman Page and Kenny Omega versus Kip Sabian and Jimmy Havoc. It was for the AEW Tag Team Championships. This match went on a little bit too long. Jimmy Havoc is not very good. He sucks. He's not very good at all. They had mentioned that he trained with the Knight family, which is actually Paige's family, which explains why he sucks. Which is the joke that I made. The match was just not very good. It went on a little bit too long for my taste. Kip Sabian, he's not that much good either. I mean, Penelope Ford was probably the only good thing about that whole crew. I mean, she's insanely hot, and yet she's dating Kip Sabian. And she also dated Joey Janela. Which, does this girl not realize how hot she is? Why is she dating scrubs? I don't know. Was it Paige and Omega won? Eventually, they're gonna break apart. Was it All In's usually Labor Day? It's always the weekend of Labor Day. So is that gonna be when their big feud kind of culminates, or when they actually turn on each other? Which more than likely they want to make Paige the heel, and they want to keep Omega as the face. It'd be more interesting if Omega was the heel. Because I've said it once and I've said it again. I think out of all the elite guys, Paige is the one I like the most. He's a guy that if you put him on WWE television, if you signed him to WWE, he'd be on WWE television. Or he'd be a big name in NXT. He has a look. He's not too big, but he has a nice look. He's a big guy. He looks like he can beat the fuck out of people. I kind of pitched the idea, a dream match between him and Drew McIntyre would be fun. Because you have two big guys who can wrestle and go out there and brawl and beat the fuck out of each other. That would be a good match. That would be a hell of a match. Him and Killer Cross. You put him in NXT, him and Cross. That would be interesting. So, again, the match was what it was. It wasn't very good. And of course, Bleacher Report gave it an A. Surprise. So, yeah, Brian Cage in a squash match versus some guy named Sean Dean. Taz, who's his manager, got on the mic and called out Jon Moxley. Jon Moxley came out and just talked to him. And that's really about it. Brian Cage, I don't know much about him. I haven't really seen him wrestle too much. I don't know what you guys think about him. I'm not that impressed by him, honestly. Like, I mean, he's a big guy, but is he really someone that I should be afraid of? Like, in storyline purposes, if I'm Jon Moxley, should I be afraid of Brian Cage? Just because he's a big guy? Just because he has a lot of muscles? He looks like a character on Dragon Ball Z. Like, he has these giant muscles, and he has a baby face. I think that's the one thing that really takes me away from him, is the fact that he has a baby face. Like, he does not look like somebody that's scary. You know, Ron Simmons was scary. The Godfather was scary. A guy like Brian Cage, he has a baby face. He's a pretty boy. Pretty boys aren't scary. Not to say that he's not tough, but he's not very scary. He's not very intimidating. It doesn't work. You know, pretty boys should not be intimidating. You know, kind of gruff-looking ugly fucks should be intimidating. But they're gonna fight at Fyter Fest, which they say will be a 2-day event. So eventually, Cage is gonna lie down for Moxley, like Lee did, which we haven't seen much of Lee. And I'm trying to. Who was the guy they brought in on Dynamite to face Moxley? He was that guy. He was kind of like, he's very short and stocky. He's supposed to be like this really badass guy. I forget his name. For the life of me, I forget his name. Somebody will remember him. Jeff Cobb. Yeah, Jeff Cobb. You know who they just hyped up as, oh, he's a badass. He's from the islands. He's a badass, and then he ends up losing to Moxley. So it's just like, why bring these guys in that actually look legit and just have them lay down? You know, why hype up Lance Archer as an ass kicker, as a monster, and then you have him lie down to Cody Christ? I don't get it. I don't get the point of that. So, yeah, Colt Cabana versus Jericho. Yeah, Jericho won. Surprise. He's doing this whole thing with Tyson, which I don't know what that's going to end up to. Or lead to, I mean. Maybe that'll be at their next big event at, like, All Out. So they can bring in people. But we'll see how that works. Yeah, Big Swole. I still get a kick out of somebody who's 5'9", calling himself Big Swole. Against Nyla Rose. Who won? I kind of skimmed through this match. Who the fuck won? Yeah, Rose won. And then Britt Baker's doing her whole thing where she's a role model. She's in a wheelchair and she says roll, R-O-L-L model. So they're trying to make that a thing, which I think is kind of funny. Tony Schiavone interviews FTR, who they want to come here and make tag team wrestling right, and they think the Young Bucks are a joke, and blah, blah, blah. There's a nice moment where Schiavone, says fuck the Revival, but they have to bleep out F and Revival, which I'm surprised. I'd be surprised if they don't get in trouble for that, even though they got bleeped out. Which I don't think they will. And then the Butcher and the Blade come out and confront FTR, so that's going to end up being a thing. Bleacher Report gave this segment an A. I didn't think you could give segments grades. So, and then the main event was Cody versus Jungle Boy for the TNT Championship. Nice little back and forth action. Cody got color, which I think that's going to be Cody's thing now. Is he's just going to get color in most of his matches? Like, is that going to be? Is he going to try and do what Flair did? I was young, but I'm also wise enough to know, just based on matches I've watched, that Flair in any big match would always get color. Dusty got color, but I don't know. Correct me if I'm wrong. Anybody who was, young enough to remember wrestling at that time, who got more color? Was it Flair or Dusty? I could have sworn it was Flair that would get more color than Dusty. I don't know. But yeah, this match was okay. Good back and forth. Again, I think, in my opinion, I don't want people attacking me or threatening me or whatever, but the match was okay. It wasn't that great. Cody winning, of course. Cody wants to do his... he wants to pull a John Cena and do the open challenge for the TNT Championship. Next week is going to be... Cody... Who's Cody defending the title against next week? Again, I forgot. Somebody tell me. Corbin's about to tell me. Currently waiting on an answer from Corbin. Mark. Oh, the guy from Private Party. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I get what Cody wants to do. He wants to put everyone over. He wants to give everybody a chance. Which is good. It can be good and bad. Because not everybody should be given a spotlight. So, but yeah, I can get what Cody's trying to do. That was AEW. I preferred NXT over it. But we're about to find out. According to Sean, the answer of the ratings are going to surprise me. So AEW won again, which I don't get, but whatever. It was actually very close. AEW drew 730,000 viewers. NXT drew 715,000 viewers. That's very, very close. That is like almost ridiculously close. Yeah, I don't see how AEW won. The show was not very good. AEW was not very good, in my opinion. NXT was a lot better. AEW ranked number 27 in the cable top 150, while NXT ranked 45. AEW ranked 71 in viewership, while NXT ranked 72 in viewership. That's pretty interesting, because last week AEW drew 827. And that dropped by an awful lot. So, I mean, the ratings, I've said before, the ratings don't really matter. At this point, they don't matter anymore, because it seems like a jerk-off fest, in my opinion, because I can sit here and tell you NXT is the better show, that I prefer NXT over AEW, but it's not going to matter. At the end of the day, it's not going to matter, because I can say another show is better than another show, but ratings at the end of the day, they seem to matter, which they really shouldn't. But, I don't know, wrestling's weird, because if these were actual TV shows, these shows would be canceled already. Like, if these shows were getting these type of numbers, if they weren't a wrestling show, like, they would be canceled. So, reruns of Supernatural get more viewership than AEW. The NBA gets more viewership than AEW. Charmed, which I don't even think they show Charmed anymore. Or The Dark Knight being played on TNT will get way more viewers than AEW. USA, WWE just seems like, I think WWE is the only thing that gets better viewers. Because I can't really think of too many shows. I mean, maybe Mr. Robot, but Mr. Robot got canceled. That show Sinner, which I only watched the first season. That was weird. Reruns of Law and Order SVU. Possibly. But again, wrestling's weird. Wrestling's a weird thing because these shows should have been canceled already. They should have kept NXT on the network. I don't know. It's pretty abysmal. But yeah, that was pretty surprising. That was pretty awfully close. What does NXT really have to do to get better? To be a lot better than AEW? Like, when they eventually do start letting people back into the arena, fans, not trainees, but actual fans, which apparently it's going to be sooner than later. Like, Florida is apparently allowing WWE and AEW to start letting fans in the arena. Not too many, but it's not going to be like an indie show with only 20 people. Not shitting on indie shows at all. I'm just saying. NXT needs to consider moving out of Full Sail. Like, when they can actually start packing up houses, they need to consider going to arenas. Smaller arenas. Not stadiums, but like smaller arenas. Like, for example, in San Antonio, the AT&T Center is where they go to do Monday Night Raw, SmackDown, or pay-per-views. The Freeman Coliseum is where they do house shows. So, not AEW, NXT should consider going to a place like the Freeman Coliseum, or fill in the blank. Go to smaller towns. Take the show to smaller towns that crave this, that have been wanting this. I mean, they really should move out of Full Sail because it's good wrestling, but it's almost like watching an indie film. An indie film with a very big budget. You know what I mean? So, we are about to... Alright, let's get into NXT in Your House predictions, which is this Sunday, June 7th at Full Sail, which we already know that. So, these aren't going to be the matches that are, like... I'll just start from the bottom. So you have a 6-woman tag match, which was announced with Maya Yim, Shotzi Blackheart, and Tegan Knox versus Candice LeRae, Dakota Kai, and Raquel Gonzalez. I think the heels are going to win this, just so they can keep them into a thing. They're going to want to make Candice into the top shit, woman in NXT, which I'm fine with. Dakota Kai just looking better and better each week. So is Tegan Knox. Shotzi Blackheart, I'm not sure. I'm not sold on her gimmick, or I'm not sold on her in general. I'm not even sure what she's supposed to be. Like, she's supposed to be Tank Girl, like from the movie Tank Girl. Is she supposed to be another variation of Ruby Riott? Like, I don't get it. I mean, I think it's cute when she comes out to the ring with that tank. I don't know. I find it odd. I'm picking the heels to win this. You got Keith Lee versus Johnny Gargano for the NXT North American Championship. I have a feeling Gargano's going to win this by fuckery. Like, he's going to find a way to weasel his way out of this match and become North American Champion. Like, the writing's on the wall. And also, I think Keith Lee needs to go to the main roster already. I think he's ready. I don't really see anything else for him to do in NXT. I mean, maybe a feud with, like Cross or something, but I don't know. I think now's the time for Keith Lee to go to the main roster. Like, it would be a lot better for him, because at this point he's way too big a star. He's already over. He's proven himself at Survivor Series and the Royal Rumble. So, yeah, just take the title and give him to Gargano. Put him on the main roster. But yeah, Gargano's going to win, but it'll probably be on like a fuckery type thing. Next match, you have Finn Balor versus Damian Priest. Meh. Just meh. Damian Priest, I'm not really that impressed by. A lot of people do like him, and I can see why, but I don't know, there's something about him that just doesn't appeal to me. He has an interesting look. Him in the ring, he's not very good in the ring. He's not terrible. It's not like he's, shit in the ring. He's not a Baron Corbin, that's for sure. He's a lot more, he's entertaining in the ring. He's fine. And I think it's pretty cool when he does the whole bow and arrow thing onto the Titantron. But I wouldn't go that far, Corbin. He's not Corbin-like. He's actually a lot better than Corbin. It's just something about him I can't really get into. I see him, and I can't invest my time in him. You know what I mean? But he's going to beat Balor. Same thing with Balor. I think Balor's at this point where I don't even think he knows what he wants to do. I don't even think the company really knows what to do with Balor in NXT because I said a long time ago with Balor, what's the end game with Balor in NXT? Because if you're not going to make him the NXT champion, then what's the point? At this point, it's very pointless with Balor being in NXT because it seems like he's just here to put guys over. It almost seems like he's been lost in the shuffle. Yeah, I guess they want to put him here, to bring people in, but him in NXT, it's just something is not clicking. Something's not clicking with Balor. So yeah, I'm going to pick Priest to win this. I think he needs to win a little bit more than Balor does. You got triple threat for the women's championship. You got Charlotte versus Rhea versus Io Shirai. I thought the vignette, or segment, vignette, whatever you want to call it nowadays, on NXT talking about these three women, I thought it was cool. The whole thing with Io Shirai where she's like, apparently Harry Houdini in the water talking, that was unique. But it was unique. It was unique for her character because clearly this, her whole gimmick is that she's kind of fucked up. Like she's kind of, she's out there. And then you had Rhea talking, and then you had Charlotte talking. Personally, I wouldn't mind seeing Io win this. Because, again, I love Io Shirai. I like all the women in this match, but I don't know. I would like to see Io Shirai win this. And then that sets up a feud with her and Rhea. So I think Charlotte might win. It's one of those things where it's like, here's who I want to win, but here's who I think will win. So I think Charlotte will win because, they want to make NXT into a thing. They want to give it ratings. But I would want Io to win. I wouldn't mind if Io Shirai won. Plus, a feud with her and Rhea would be dope. Next match, you had Tommaso Ciampa versus Karrion Kross with Scarlett in a singles match. This match, there's no way that this match can't be bad. Or can't be good, I mean. But it depends on how these two will push it. It could either be really, really good, or just okay. That's really how I see it, because these two are going to tear it up. There's a size difference, but Kross makes up for it because not Kross, but Tommaso is the shorter one. But he looks like an ass kicker. He has the look of an ass kicker. He looks like a gruff, gritty, caveman that can fight. That's not afraid of anyone, and Kross is the monster. So, I have a feeling these two will do just fine. Again, it's either going to be really, really good or just okay. I don't see this match being bad in any way. I don't see this match being negative. Kross is going to win because, again, he's debuting, and they want to make him into a thing. They want to make him into the top guy, which I get. Eventually, I kind of just want them to call him Kross because I don't like the name Karrion. I tried giving it a chance. I tried, but I'm just like, can they just call him Kross? But whatever. And then what looks like will be the main event is a Adam Cole versus Velveteen Dream in a last chance backlot brawl. The NXT Championship. If Dream loses, he can no longer challenge for the NXT while Cole is still champion. So does that mean Dream is going to win? I mean, these two have already had 2 matches. I think. They had a match at NXT before, and they had one again. Usually the third match, they'll add a stipulation of like, if I win, then then you're fired, or you'll never be champion again, or you'll never face me for the title. Or you'll never face, you'll never have a shot at this as long as I'm champion. Like, it almost seems like Dream is going to win. Like, it almost seems very obvious. This match is going to be pre-recorded because, it's in a backlot brawl, which I would find it odd if a title changed hands in a pre-recorded match, or just not even a match. It'll be a segment. Again, this is one of those things where it could be really good or really bad. It's a backlot brawl. Those are usually pretty fun to watch. I don't know. I think Dream would win because it almost seems like he's going to win. It almost seems like they want to give him the title. But I mean, if he loses, will he go to the main roster? I don't know. That's the thing. And I like that I don't know. I'm going to watch it and just keep an open mind. Like, I don't know what's going to happen. But I think Dream will win. Just by the way the match is being presented, I think he'll win. So, I don't know. But that's just my opinion. That's the whole card. As far as wrestling goes, that's pretty much all I have to talk about with wrestling. I talked about on Twitter, I don't know anyone that's a video game guy in here. Have you guys ever played the Uncharted series? I already finished the whole series. Because I had bought all 4. I bought like a bundle where it came with 1, 2, and 3. And then I bought 4 by itself. And it was on sale at GameStop. I had planned on finishing the series before Last of Us 2 came out. Where, Last of Us 2 was supposed to come out on the 31st. Got pushed back to the 19th of June, which is fine. And I already pre-ordered Last of Us 2, so I'm, gearing up for that. I mainly played it because there's a YouTuber who reviews movies, TV shows, and video games. His name is Jeremy Johns. Shout out to Jeremy Johns, by the way. And he's like all over this game. He's a big fan of the game, so it just got me thinking because I already have a PS4, and it's a series that's only exclusive to PS4. It's like Last of Us. So I already beat all 4 of them. Sean says he started one, never finished. It's a good series. It's a kind of a relatively easy game. If you know what to do, it's very easy. Like, it's not that hard. It's really not that hard. I think the only hard parts is when they try to do something a little bit more trivial in the game. Because it's a game. It's basically Indiana Jones for this generation. And there are parts in the games where you have to solve puzzles. Those are the only other parts that are kind of hard because I'll admit there are times where I had to go on the internet or look up YouTube and just type in how to do this. And then after that, you're good. But yeah, overall fun game. If you like just fun adventure games, this might be right up your alley. I'm trying to think of which game I like more. I thought 2 was fun. I thought 2 was a little bit better. It started out pretty crazy. I'm not gonna spoil it for anyone. 4 was good, but it was too much talking. Like, it was a lot of talking. Like, a lot of talking. Like, usually in the, parts 1, 2, and 3, they'll have the cutscenes and they'll have you talking to a character and then it just goes to the scene and it just goes to the gameplay. This one, part 4, was like 5-10 minutes of talking. Of a whole cutscene. I'm just like, Jesus H. Christ. It might have something to do with the fact that, I guess, the main lady who was in charge of, 3 games, she didn't come back for 4. So I don't know if maybe that had something to do with it. But, overall fun game. I recommend it to anyone who wants to play it. If you have a PS4 and you want to play it. I mean, you could buy it off the store. I think they have a sale going on right now. And it's like dirt cheap. Or you can go to GameStop. I don't know. But I'm at the point where I never want to spend another penny at GameStop. I would rather just pre-order my shit online. Which I did. I pre-ordered Last of Us 2, like I mentioned earlier. But I'm stoked for that. What else can I talk about? I mean, I finished that Epstein documentary. I mean, should I even really bring that up? I mean, because we already had a kind of somber, depressing talk earlier. Should I even bring this up? I mean, overall, we already know who Jeffrey Epstein is. There's a documentary on Netflix. It's called Filthy Rich, which, good title, by the way. And it just talks about the guy. He's just a monster, just an awful, awful person. Like, it just talks about everything he did. The one thing that's just very disturbing was, and even has like a warning label where it has minors describing sexually explicit details. Which, if you have kids, if that's something you've personally been through as a kid, it's not gonna be something that you're gonna want to watch. It's within 10 minutes of the documentary, you're already pissed off. Because it's like, this guy was literally a nobody. Like, he really was not anyone famous. Like, he was just an accountant that made a shit ton of money, but he happened to know a lot of important people. And yet, he somehow had all this power. Like, Harvey Weinstein, that was understandable because, he owned a movie company. So he had power. So, but for a guy like Jeffrey Epstein, I don't get how he had that much power. I really don't. You know who I compare him to? Not to say that he like these two guys are the same person. It's kind of like Kevin Dunn. Like, Kevin Dunn seems to have a lot of this power backstage. I'm not saying Kevin Dunn rapes kids. I'm just talking about as far as like power and like their position. Epstein he was just an accountant. He was just a guy that somehow made a lot of money. And then you come to find out how he did make his money because he was pimping out kids. So, and we all know how it ended. He ended up hanging himself, quote unquote, in his jail cell, which they said that the cops who were supposed to be watching him, they fell asleep, and he ended up hanging himself, quote unquote. I don't know what you guys think about the whole situation. Something happened to him. Like, the talk was that he was going to talk. He was going to blow the whistle. Because he knew he was going to reveal people. He was going to, say names. And somebody went to go shut him up. I don't know. What do you guys think? Like, what's your personal opinion about this? It's something that's bad. Because I feel terrible for the women that were in this. Because they never got the chance to, go to court and just look at him and describe the awful things that he did to them and put them through. And then, this piece of shit ends up, dying. I mean, the one good moment at the end was, the judge seemed like a legit guy. He let these women have their day in court. He let these women come to court and talk. And that's really all they wanted, was just to talk. They wanted someone to listen to them, and they finally got somebody to listen to them. That wasn't going to say, "Oh, well, what were you wearing? Oh, well, you were a prostitute." This one girl in particular, they were describing her as a prostitute, and it's like, I wasn't a fucking prostitute. I was being trafficked. I was a kid. And Prince Andrew, who raped one of the kids. He's just the interview he's getting. It's like, dude, you're lying. You're a lying sack of shit. It also doesn't help that you look like you do not even care what happened. So, I don't know. I don't want to talk too much more about this. I don't want the show to get too political or just depressing. But, yeah, it's on Netflix. You guys want to watch it? Watch it. It's not for the faint of heart. It's pretty rough. But yeah, where are we at? We're an hour and 10. I think, maybe that's where I'll just cut it off. So, shout-outs to Wrestling Soup, which they'll be starting in about 20 minutes on Discord, so head on over there. Oh, man. Sorry, I just had some chicken rice and broccoli, so it's coming back up. Not throwing it up, by the way, but it's just coming up. I'm burping a lot. So, head on over there to their Patreon, $5. Support John, Joey, and Mish. DTKC, Don, Tony, and Kevin Castle. Kevin Castle's birthday was yesterday. Also, Kevin Castle, he's get a hold of him and let him know your PayPal information, or just talk to him in general. He's trying to set up something for his cats. He's trying to start a fundraiser for his cats. So get a hold of him, donate some money. I did. Any amount of money will do. So get in touch with Kevin. Kevin's good people. Yeah, go to their Patreon, just $5. Also Trez, shout out to Trez, who's on K&T Chronicles with Kev. And then you got Wrestling Court with Julian and Rob. God damn it, I keep trying to burp. Fuck. You got False Count Radio with Andrew Carlick, who was on 2 weeks ago. Fuck, I keep having a burp. God damn it. You got the Trademark Show with Tyler. You got Texas Podcast Massacre. Let's see if I'm forgetting anyone else. You got Nuclear Graphics with Shaheen, also his podcast, which the name is escaping me at the moment. Like, I just had a brain fart. What's the name of Shaheen's podcast? Hold on. Because I know it's not THT, and it's not, because he had another one up. But I don't want to be disrespectful. What is Shaheen's podcast? What the fuck? How the hell am I forgetting? Oh my goodness, it's been one of those days. Hold on. Hold up. I will look for this just to make sure I'm not coming up as being disrespectful, Sheen. I want to make sure I remember your podcast. It is Clothesline Media. So, yeah, Clothesline Media podcast. There you go. Fuck. And also, Nuclear Graphics if you need some artwork done, like a logo for your show, just anything in general. Get a hold of Shaheen. The guy is the best. He's the best. You got Yuck Nasty. Get in the corner with Yuck Nasty and Dogger Baby. Yuck did the intro for the show. The intro. Yeah, he did the intro for the show, which I think you guys might have been able to hear. And he, at the moment, I've been trying to ask him about it. He's supposed to write a new thingy for the show. I'm not sure when that's going to happen, but it'll happen. Yuck's the best, but he's also a busy man, so I understand. And that's really about it. If I'm forgetting anyone else, please forgive me. Support all podcasts, support our brothers and sisters. Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook, Drew Yari Show. And I will be back next Thursday, same time, same channel. Thank you to everyone who did show up, and enjoy Wrestling Soup. I want you guys to have fun, and that is about it. Laters, and I will play my outro for you guys.